Mic check, 1, 2, 3. I accidentally pushed a hotkey to jump scenes and didn't even realize it. I was looking at another camera or another screen. Looked like my camera wasn't working though, so I have to figure that out. How you doing, Atlam? Hope you can hear me all right. So, welcome back, one and all, to the Dam Challenge. Today's Dam Challenge features entries from the garden theme. So, a couple weeks ago, we picked garden as a theme, and have been seeing entries kind of slowly roll in over the last 2 weeks. There was, I think, 10 entries in total. I'm excited to showcase them all to you today. We're going to start with the winning entry. But before we do, I just want to make sure I'm live on all platforms. I am on Steam, TikTok, Twitch. Like we're live on YouTube, Twitter. Everything looks like it's fine. So, fantastical. Welcome back, one and all. The stream PC. Here we go. So congratulations to Anani on this very compelling entry in the Dam Challenge. The Mythical Zen Garden Resort. Congratulations, my friend. I know you've been entering diligently for, a couple months now and been refining your craft. So congratulations to you. This map was quite epic and we're going to explore it in depth, but I'm going to pull up the link for it really quick to share with y'all. Actually, you know what? I have it on something in here. So congratulations to Anani. And remember, we can't all win, but we can all be winners. So let's congratulate our friend. For such great work on this map. And we'll take a closer look at it momentarily. I have a bit of a sore throat today, so sorry about that if I'm like clearing my throat here and there. So, how is everyone's week leading into their weekend? How's everyone's weekend going so far? Hope you had an amazing Friday and leaning into an amazing Saturday. Let me start off by saying this map features a lot of cool, intricate design. Hey, John, I appreciate you stopping by to say hi. Though I wish you could stay longer, but I understand you're a man of the people. Got to be out and about. So, we'll see you next time, my friend. Yeah, the suspension bridge was a great touch and a great use of the new linking system that was added in Fun with Objects Part 1. The bridge is navigable in first person, which I also found impressive. And then you have this sort of Zen garden area. I loved the shoes here. It was a great touch. You got to kick off your shoes before you come in. And then when you get inside, this is when it starts becoming just absolutely phenomenal. Come in here, you got a little library, study area with, of course, a little a little shrine for a cat. Lots of meow meow in the map. I love the use of these like screen windows. It really adds to the aesthetic. And then you found some good assets on the workshop to really fill in. Nice little kitchen area. Let's just take a tour around the outside edge before we check out the actual garden here. Looks like a space for art. This is one of my favorite spaces right here. The little spot with tea and the katanas on display. I just wanted to see, get behind those. I guess you probably go into them. That's your own art? Nice. I wasn't sure. Cool. And then you've got the bedroom area, the master bed, but all these other beds to the side here. Probably the, you know, like the sensei and the, or like the, you know, the head monk, and then you've got like the trainees here. Little eatery. Then a little shrine leading to a hot tub in the corner. Hey Polaris, how you doing, buddy? Welcome, welcome. Hope you're having a wonderful day. Oh, this rug? Yeah, so they use the custom rug where you can insert any image you want and then just made it into a custom rug, so it's a yin yang. Now I understand why you were trying to do yin yang, Anani. It is, huh? Is it T00722? I hope I'm, you know, if it's like elite speak thing, I'm not sure what it is. Is it Tootie? Toots? I'm not sure what your name is. I've forgotten elite speak. It's been so long. This is a beautiful setting though here in the center. You didn't know custom rugs were a thing? Hold up. Oh, it's nothing important. No worries. Well, I hope I didn't butcher your name too much, and I appreciate you popping into the stream and checking out this map. It's a beautiful map designed by a creator on another one of our streams right now. We're multi-streaming to Twitch, Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, TikTok, Steam, etc. But their name is Anani Deus, and they are currently on our Twitch stream. So we're all kind of checking out this map. It was a winning map from a contest we host every 2 weeks called the Damn Challenge. I did not notice these little doors last time. The little sheds are a brilliant touch. Hey, thanks to you as well. You have a wonderful weekend. How's your weekend so far? 2? Hey, thank you for that follow, by the way. These sheds are a brilliant, like the cellars, brilliant touch. Love this. I didn't even see these on my first pass. That looks like probably an abstract, I'd imagine. But it looks like they put a room here and then put the abstract on the room, because you could see some of the wood floor around the edges there. So it's like a perfect circle in the center. Yeah, that's definitely an abstract, but if you pull the abstract to the side here, right, you have a floor underneath, so clearly that's a room underneath. I like this little circle area with the fish. Very cool. So I know you were thinking about a yin and yang. I'm assuming you were going to go for a structure that was yin and yang. Could have done like a yin and yang pond. But this is beautiful. This is absolutely stunning. Honestly, this here, I'm so impressed by this too. I didn't even notice these on the first pass. So I'm kind of mad I didn't. I love this hummingbird asset as well. Here, let's get in a little bit closer. Hummingbirds are like, I guess, my favorite bird. So like, I don't know why. We've always been lucky when we end up finding a new place to rent that the like plant life around the house tends to attract a lot of hummingbirds. And I just absolutely love watching them. I don't know what it is. They are just interesting animals to me. We have several that like hang out in the tree in our front yard or the bush in our front yard. And then we also have a large kind of hedge with flowers on it in our backyard, and they love that as well. But oh my goodness, we just see them all the time fluttering around. They fight each other, chase each other around. It's funny. Hummingbird drama. So, hey, Space Monkey, how you doing? Welcome back. So, I didn't see anyone really chime in. How's everyone's weekend going so far? Having an interesting weekend? Is it off to a good start? Did you do anything fun Friday evening? I love this little garden around the outside edge, by the way. Though the rabbits, I have to wonder if it's wise. I guess if they eat the rabbits, probably not a big deal. But a couple of rabbits can quickly become hundreds of rabbits. Before you know it, the garden's gone. Rabbit stew. It is really nice. Adding the stonework into here is a brilliant touch. Because it was probably just like a slanted... Ooh, look, you even built under this. I see it. Okay. Let's peel this back and look inside without the roof. By the way, that roof was really impressive. Can I just say how good this looks, the shaping of it? And it really feels like kind of that style of architecture. I don't know. I think those rabbits would eat the garden faster than the garden can produce, unless you're using magic, of course, you know. But you could see the substructure here where he's hidden the little cellars, and then this little lower kind of outdoor area. Asgard, right? Honestly, I had a rabbit a few years ago, and that thing would eat so much. Little guy would eat like a few carrots and a head of lettuce a week, and pellets. I honestly love the detail, though. It's beautiful. It's a great aesthetic. Like everything here is well placed. There's good symmetry. You filled the space well with, like, you know, what would be in this sort of garden or, you know, resort, I guess is what you've named it. But ultimately, you know, it seems like a very inclusive resort for only a handful of people, right? At once. You got these lovely little bathrooms here that you can't really access from the outside because that's a door from the workshop. But I knew there was something there. This is, it's a wonderful, wonderful build. I'm very impressed by it. The time you put into it, I'm curious how long it took you to make it. Eight hours? Nice. Like the little hot tub area out here. It's a nice little add-on. Got like, what is this, a pheasant or something? Let me select it. Yeah, there's too big of a collider surrounding it. It's probably from this. Something's overlapping it. It doesn't matter. I didn't even notice like the little bird's nest and stuff. Ha! Did not see this. That's funny. What you doing in my waters? Definitely not fishing. How have you been, Asgard? What you been up to? Hello, my baby. Hello, my honey. Hello, my ragtime gal. Little conniving frogs over here. The entry point with this suspension bridge, by the way, is very beautiful. You did a great job. Map top to bottom, just absolutely stunning. So I think I hurt my wrist, like working in my garage on all my various projects, because it's been pretty sore the last few days. My wrist and my like fingers, palm of my hand also. It's just like all swollen and bruised. I have overdone it. May have overdone it. It was very satisfying to work on the project. Oh, it's nothing more than that. I just, was working on my various projects in the garage. I built like those workbenches and then I built the storage tote racks. And ever since then, like, I had to use wood clamps because like I ordered the wood for curbside pickup. I didn't go in and pick it out. And I think they like to pick like the worst wood they can to give to you when you do that. So lesson learned. But like a lot of the wood was either weirdly bent or twisted or had weird knots, tons of knots in it. But I made do with what I had. So I would use wood clamps to like get the wood square and, plumb. And then I would drill and screw everything in. So I kind of forced it into submission, so to speak. And that will help it shape because the wood will kind of give and kind of shape itself back into shape over time. But it was fun, kind of, manhandling the wood clamps are like, long metal bars with two pieces, and then there's like a tensioner on one end, and that tensioner is like just a little thin wooden handle. It honestly is like such a pain to tighten them beyond a certain point. And man, I just want to get a bunch of quick clamps because they're way easier. Anyway, long story short, don't use overdo it with wood clamps or your wrists will like hurt for a few days. Like the craziest workout I could have had. This is a beautiful map, like from all perspectives. I went around and took a bunch of pictures of it to post on social media earlier. So imagine like a 4x4 Anani that was like twisted a little bit on the end, so it's kind of bumped up and warped. And then I took a clamp and like put it into place and held it like square. So the clamp, once it's on and you got to tighten it. And once everything's in place, you drill and run the screws. So it's like, it was kind of a pain. It hurts a little bit to do when the wood is not cooperative, but then you can get it nice and square shaped, and it usually kind of after a few weeks settles into place. You gotta, give it some elbow grease. Honestly, a lot of wood and like framing and stuff, they end up like pulling it into place and nailing it in and using leverage tricks to get things to kind of fit how they should. But I made do. Honestly, like, I was a little nervous doing the project too, because I didn't want it to like fall apart later, so I was doing everything I could to make it as square as possible. So that I probably overdid it. Didn't even need to do it that crazy, I bet. Yeah, I honestly just want to get a different type of clamp so it's easier to clamp it on there and tighten it, because that's like an old school style. They were like all my grandpa's. They're really, they still sell them at the hardware store, but they're like the old school style. I don't really know how to explain it. So, was there any inspiration for this map, Anani, in particular? True cozy space. It's definitely very zen. Thank you for the likes. Much appreciated. So y'all, I've been kind of considering a theme for the last couple of weeks for our next dam challenge, for our upcoming dam challenge. And there's been this suggestion a couple times in the past, and I really wanted to take advantage of this suggestion. How would y'all feel about doing a dam challenge where we limit it to stock objects only? Honestly, yeah, Nani, it's really well done. It's a beautiful build. You did a great job. I didn't notice the frogs before either, by the way, so. So, JFP, welcome to the stream. My name is Mac. I'm the community manager for Dungeon Alchemist. In answer to your question, why there isn't any translation for specific countries yet is because we're still in early access. And there's a lot of changes happening to Dungeon Alchemist pretty frequently. We're a very small team. There's only 10 people on our team, and we just don't have the resources to put into localization and translation for every region or specific regions until after the product is a lot more near a finalized state where there's not much changes to the translation that'll be needed each time we do an update, if that makes sense. I will say this, there has been some discussion about it behind the scenes about offering at least a handful of localizations before we leave early access to at least help these regions that use our products. And South American translations, primarily Spanish and Portuguese, have been discussed quite a bit. So with that in mind, JFP, I hope we get to it at some point in the near future. And in the interim, if you're struggling, please remember you can always hop into our Discord to get assistance. Cyber, or ask in the streams like this. Is there a way to have a JPEG as the background? Cyber, you mean like you just want to replace the entire map with an image? Just to clarify. But yes, it is possible if you want to do that. You can add images into the environment, or you can cover the entire environment with an image, or you can overlay the environment with an image for like tracing. So you can add an image that's like a trace overlay of like an old map you've drawn by hand, or maybe a map from a book. You can add overlaid images that are on top of everything. Here is just like an image of this map, and I'll put it right on top of itself. So as you could see, it is quite possible to do stuff like this. The overlay, though, is a bit different than putting an image into the map. So for instance, like this little Zen garden is an image in the map. And what they did is they took one of these objects called abstract objects, and they placed it in the map and then inserted this Zen garden pattern into it and centered it in this position. There's many objects in Dungeon Alchemist you can insert custom images into, including these kind of blank green objects, photo frames, paper documents, rugs, signs for stores, etc. So you can insert images into maps and cover images over maps and all sorts of anywhere in between. Speaking of which, we discussed earlier a rug that you could customize. If you go into decoration, rugs, there is a custom rug in here. Which one is it? Customizable carpet. That one there, you can place on the map and then insert an image into it. And when you use this one as a rug, it has a border on it, so it kind of feels like it's a more natural, like a rug image, I guess. I don't really have anything that would work as a rug. Here, let's just put a snail shell. But you could see there's the little border around the edge, so it's ideal to have something that goes all out to the entire edge. JFP, I don't know if you heard me. I said Spanish and Portuguese. I specifically said both, but no worries. I said South America as a whole. Hey, Angelo, how you doing? So, tell me more about your session, Cyber. Are you playing D&D? You playing a different system? Like, tell me about your game. Canary, I'm sorry to hear it. No worries, though. Hey, Watchtower, Canary, if you all would like to share them on the workshop when you're finished, you still can. I'm sure the community would benefit from them being shared, even if they're, finished post-contest. By the way, I'm live on multiple platforms at the moment. We're live on like 6, 7 different platforms. So if I'm talking to some username you don't see or chat, you're not seeing, I'm not crazy. It's just, me talking to another feed at the moment. So, okay, there's a session I've been doing for 3 years. We're on a Fey Island and reality is getting weird. So, are you playing in person? Are you playing online? Are you, if you're playing online, are you using a virtual tabletop? If you are, what type is it? Which one is it? If you're playing in person, how are you playing? Is it printed maps? You doing theater of the mind? You doing props, like 3D printed environment? Or are you doing a TV or a projector tabletop? Trying to just understand your table and how you want to play. By the way, oh, awesome. So Dungeon Alchemist is a map making tool if you're not familiar with how, it works. And our maps export actually for Foundry. We offer still or animated maps for Foundry that export as a image, okay, and or a video, and they will export as a top down. Oh, I have it on grayscale. Turn the color back. And then you get a layer for each portion of the map, like the basement, if there's a subfloor, but usually it would be these like top 3 images. They're all that matter. You have multiple levels that you can build, so you can have multiple floors, including roofing, basements, multiple levels of buildings, all present in the exports. And then you can set those up as scenes in Foundry, and then move your players between those scenes using like a module, like Monk's Active Tile, tiles that teleports people when they go to like a staircase or a door. So Dungeon Alchemist works hand in hand with Foundry actually quite well. We have a whole export menu dedicated to Foundry. So you build your map in 3D in Dungeon Alchemist, and then you export it for Foundry in your, whether it's an image or a video. So do you want an animated map or a still map? And then you could set it to be 3D perspective or a flattened perspective. So it's just a flattened looking map, traditional top down, or 3D perspective top down. Another thing members in our community will use Dungeon Alchemist for is for handouts in Foundry. So they'll take like screenshots or video using our cinematic camera, which is kind of like a drone, or our first person camera, which you can enter through any token you place on a map. You can walk around in this perspective, which I've played on numerous tables. You can use this view and stream it to your players over like Discord or Zoom or Teams or whatever's, convenient for you. And your players get to see through their own eyes. So you kind of follow along what they're doing in their top-down map, which is insane kind of immersion. Players can like fly and fling fireballs, but they can't see through their own eyes. So yeah, I like this. Orange Space Monkey, I will tell you this, the size of the map, the intensity of the detail, and like the level of, extensiveness to it, like how big a map can be and what you can do on it is directly correlated to your computer specs. So the more powerful of a machine you have, the larger of a map you can make. There's people in our community making maps that are 250 by 250, huge monster maps. That said, with time, as we get closer to leaving early access, I'm sure we will optimize Dungeon Alchemist and make it better for, just the average user's computer so it runs a little bit smoother. I think we're going to be patching DA over the next few months to give it some performance boosts and stuff like that, especially now that we have multi-level out and we're getting like bug reports around it and figuring out what we need to fix. Nice, Cyber. That's really cool. What kind of art exhibition? I'm not going to make you spend more money. I'm just letting you know for now that's the case. It's a direct correlation of your computer specs. So that said, I'm assuming that with time we'll increase performance and optimization for Dungeon Alchemist. Like one thing I've been made aware of is that DA, like currently in early access, only uses a single core of your CPU. So like if we allowed it to use multiple cores, hyper-threading, etc., it would probably increase performance for a lot of people. That's just like one thing to consider. I'm sure with time the devs will consider that. Now, I could be misspeaking here because I heard this a long time ago. That may have been changed. Canary, it's your first time with Fun with Objects. I'm glad you're enjoying it. What have you played with so far? What's kind of grabbed your attention the most? Update your laptop again? I mean, what kind of updates would you be doing to your laptop? Or you mean get a new laptop? You could scale the UI through the settings menu right here. However, I've noticed some of the scales look a little fuzzy. Cyber, I'm interested in that art exhibition. I'd love you to tell me more if you're okay with it. I mean, I understand if it's like, you know, you don't want to share for right now. But that's really cool. I love hearing about interesting and new ways that Dungeon Alchemist is being used. Neat. That's really cool. A lot of people use Dungeon Alchemist as kind of a therapeutic like source of, you know, just like an art source or just a fun way to unwind. Many maps don't ever see the light of day. And there's quite a few people in our community who use it just for, you know, catharsis, just to relax and unwind. Oh, interesting, Cyber. That's cool. That's really cool. Yeah, it's very nice here. It's a beautiful map. Congratulations, Anani. I will reach out to you between now and Monday afternoon to send you your prize, a $10 Hero Forge gift card. And I will be announcing you as the winner on our Discord so everyone can see that, you know, you won, and also be announcing the new theme there. So, as far as the new theme, actually, I'd like to discuss that. I mentioned it earlier. I don't know if anyone heard me say it, but I mentioned doing a stock asset dam challenge. So, no assets from the workshop in a build. The other day, I heard about a link of the ligament of an export models to DA. That's really cool, though, Cyber. Are you planning on putting this like art exhibition up on like a stream or a video of it somewhere? So there is some information on our wiki, Angelo, that can guide you through the export process, or like, I mean, the import process of like if you are importing assets, if that's what you're talking about, if you're importing 3D models to DA. I want to make sure I understand you there. Alignment. I know what you meant now. So are you trying to import models to Dungeon Alchemist and you want to make sure that they're properly aligned? Is that your concern? So they're not like on their side, they're on the right axis. Hey, all art's cool, Cyber. You know, if you end up streaming it or it ends up on a portfolio, please reach out to us, DM us with, you know, say hello, or if you're in our Discord, hop in and ping me. I'm Mac, the community manager. I'd love to check it out. I love seeing Dungeon Alchemist used in interesting and unique ways, so ways outside of the scope of, you know, how we intended. Okay, so Angelo, if you're importing assets to Dungeon Alchemist and you want to make sure they're the correct orientation, that would be definitely, if you're using Blender, there's an add-on, a module you can download that one of our creators in our community made that automatically flips the asset and puts it in the correct orientation. Asmodeus, are you here? Yeah. What is the name of that add-on, the plugin? Hey, Random Ladybird, how are you? BDA. Can you tell us the acronym? Better Dungeon Alchemist, is that what it is? Or Blender Dungeon Alchemist? Blender for DA, gotcha. Hey, we're here to support you, Cyber. Honestly, like, we, as the community manager, first off, I'm always like loving when I see new and fun ways for Dungeon Alchemist use, and we love to support our community members. We have, you know, people who make maps for their personal tables, and they're just GMs, DMs trying to offer a better, experience for their players, and we love supporting them. We have, you know, creators out there, whether it's streamers or YouTubers or Patreon map makers, etc., who are making maps and, you know, streaming and sharing content. So we love to support them, and artists as well. There's creators out there who make Dungeon Alchemist maps and then turn it into all sorts of neat objects and art items to sell. There's a creator in Canada who takes maps that she makes and then she gets them printed on fabric, and then she turns those into dice trays. I just thought that was one of the coolest things ever. So it's a map and a dice tray. So it's like a quick tavern, you know, map or whatever. Anyway, I love, you know, how creative our community is sometimes. So anything you plan to do, please share with me. If you want a link for the add-on, I think we have a link for it shared in our Discord somewhere, or we could share it to you in YouTube. Sorry, the add-on it's on the Blender like add-on market, I believe. So it's like you download it through Blender or through their little market space. Okay, so let's move on to the next map in the damn challenge because we got a lot to go. Blingen's Mushroom Garden. I think stock objects should be the theme, but we can refine it. I mean, you can make anything using stock objects. So if you wanted to make a tavern in Ani, you could. It kind of leaves it open-ended for you to design whatever you want, just as long as you're using stock objects. Once in a while, we add an extra rule to the damn challenge, and it really brings out interesting entries. Like once in a while, we'll do size restrictions or like certain biomes or something like that. You know what I mean? So Canary, as far as that's concerned, we try typically to avoid very, very specific cultural assets at the moment, unless we can get assistance in that manner regarding, cultural sensitivity. So we want to make sure we release assets that, you know, don't offend anyone and are properly labeled and named and correctly represented. That's a big important thing for us. So we typically will either, you know, reach out to, you know, someone and get a lot of information from a third party, etc., to make sure that it's, you know, anyway, I hope that makes sense. With Photoshop, I'm glad that worked. The suggestion of fixing it in post worked for you. This is great. So we've got like a little mine here on the side, right? Little mine shaft. A moment. This was Blue Mages, right? Yep, it is. Underneath, below, I mean, technically you could make your map underneath, below using stock objects as the theme. Oh, excuse me. Oh man, that sneeze came out of nowhere. Well, our theme before last was tower, trying to take advantage of levels. That is a good suggestion, underneath or below. Gotcha. Stock objects restriction. See, for me, I'm thinking the theme should just be stock objects only. But then that'll just be a rule. Like an added rule just for that one theme. But I'm open to more suggestions. So, okay, we've got underneath and below. Bless you is the theme. No, I'm just kidding on that one. I just sneezed. But like those dad jokes. Did anyone have? I'm sure a lot of you have fathers. Almost all of you, I'd imagine, at some point in your life. But what I'm getting at is, did any of you have a father that would pull really dumb dad jokes? So like, if you said something like, Dad, I'm hungry. You'd be like, hi, hungry, I'm Dad. So anyway, yeah, I became that dad because, you know, that's how I was raised. Take a little tour in the whole building setup here. That's honestly, Blue Mage, that's no big deal. It doesn't have to be an over-the-top map every time. I think it's a pretty map as is. I like the idea behind it. I love a mushroom garden. I think this was the only one that actually chose mushrooms as their kind of garden type or aesthetic, so props. That's the whole point of the challenge, my friend. You're challenging yourself at the end of the day, right? To be a better cartographer and map maker. Well, that's the same thing, I guess. Better cartographer and creator, or DM as well, if that's your goals. I really like how you kind of angled these though, so I could climb them. I don't even know if it was intentional or not, but I keep over jumping that. Theme decay is an interesting one. Okay. I love this rooftop garden. Really well done. Ruin is an alternative term for that. Yeah, that would be work. That could work. So I guess we all had dads that would do dad jokes, unless, you know, you had an absent father, in which case you were never tortured in that way. Hmm. Secret door? Secret door, secret tunnel. Secret tunnel. Through the mountains. Yes, Dad, on TikTok, correct. This is a map making tool for tabletop settings such as D&D, Pathfinder, primarily in a fantasy aesthetic, is where our map making tool excels. But it can be used in like Western. You have it, but you haven't ever built a world. So right now, like, we're just exploring a map that was created by a community member. If you want to play from your maps, it's ideal if you're playing locally with like friends on a TV tabletop, you know. But if you want to play like online, you would export your map in a top-down perspective, the traditional, you know, play method for D&D type games. So this map is particular. Let's say you played online, you could export it for Foundry, and you have every level of the map. So it's a multi-level map, including the multiple levels of the structure. And it is either exported as multiple videos or images. And then you could, you know, play them locally on a TV tabletop or a projector tabletop through a PC, or online through like Foundry, Fantasy Grounds, Above VTT, any number of virtual tabletop systems. Roll20 is another we're compatible with, Fantasy Grounds as well. I guess what I'm pointing out is, ideally you wouldn't really play in this unless you were playing at home, like with your friends there, where they could see the map and you move around in it. These different methods we give you to interact with the map, explore it, are great for like taking screenshots or video to give your players as handouts, or to even stream it to them. So you could stream a first-person view. If you go into the door menu and just type secret, they pop up. Anani. So secret. And then there's several secret doors. So this one here is like a bookshelf, the traditional secret door. And then the rest are stone work that they match very specific walls, like the crypt walls or these stone interfaces. So, I mean, at the end of the day, Dad, it's not really intended to run a campaign from. It's a supplemental tool for your campaign. It's ideally your map making and immersion utility. So, you know, you want some videos and some pictures. People even make like landing screens, world maps with Dungeon Alchemist. You can make entire villages and cities, just encounter maps. You can generate maps on the fly if your players go somewhere you didn't plan for your session. You can generate entire environments. Warlock tiles. What is that? I'm not familiar with it. Tell me more. I like this map a lot, Blue Mage. You did a great job. Really good job on this. I like the vibe. I love the little house here. And then obviously the tons of mushrooms going on. Uh-oh, did I go somewhere I wasn't allowed? How long did it take you to make this map, Blue Mage? You know, it's crazy. There's a lot of map making tools now, and I try to stay on top of it, but I guess it's impossible to know like all of them. But like I've heard of like Arkenforge and there's like a bunch of different map making companies. There's this new one that's kind of like all art, like drawing style, called Canvas of Kings. Pretty interesting art style. There's a lot of cool ones, and I don't really see them as competition so much as complementary because, you know, in some instances, you're going to need a big regional map, and that's something that, you know, we just don't really excel at. We're more kind of geared around content for like local or encounter maps, battle maps. Small villages and towns are ideal. So I'm just looking at Warlock tiles. Those are pretty cool. So they're little 3D kits. That's pretty neat. So like, for instance, Dad, you could do a TV tabletop or a projector tabletop with our map as the foundation of your map, of your base, and then do real props on top like Warlock tiles. So you could have an animated map below, right? Either projected or on a TV tabletop, and then you could put real props on top. Yeah. Stand by, I'll see if I can find it. Here. Just got the link. I'll put it up in Twitch, or I'll send it to you, Atlam. I'll send you everything I have on it. Okay. Oh my gosh. Oh, there's like a fuzzy in my mouse. It wasn't working for a second. I was like, why aren't you moving? There's a little bit about it, Atlam, so you can look into it. Okay, next map. We're gonna have to burn through a few maps really quick. We only have an hour left and 7 maps, so. I'm sorry, man. I'm sorry. I spent far too long in the first map, like an extra 15 minutes I shouldn't have, and as a result of which we have to rush all the rest of the maps today. They're only going to get about 5 minutes each. It's nothing personal. If we have time at the end, Blue Mage, we'll take another quick look and look at the Mushroom Elders, okay? Sorry, I missed them. So let's expand this map out, take a look down below, make sure there's no other sub-levels. Okay. Okay. So what we've got here is the Druid's Temple Respite, which is a massive multi-level structure. Sort of like a castle of sorts, if you will. Down below, you have this kind of terraced garden. Absolutely wonderful design here. I like these little terraces here, or I guess balconies, or they're not out inside, they're a balcony. Maybe a deck. Fly in here in first person. Around. temple, shrine, altar kind of set up here in the base. Well, if you want to share the upvotey link, we can try and get more people to vote on it. The more votes, the more likely, you know? That being said, we probably have some things that could kind of work. Like, I bet you if you use, like, the geysers, for instance, the bottom of them kind of looks like a stalactite, and then the top half would just be a geyser. You could probably hide it in something and just turn off the fire, like a rock, and turn off the smoke. So a geyser technically could be used as like a stalactite. Oh, just a large scorpion hanging out with the other animals. The cat embedded in the furniture. It access those doors for some reason. Weird. Usually you can open any door. Those might be windows, like balcony windows or whatever. Oh no. Fuck. They're like the little ornamental windows. Okay, any of these doors? Don't yawn, it'll make you yawn. I'm sorry, Alex. You know, I don't know what it is. Like, I always yawn, no matter what I'm doing, even when I'm not like tired or bored. Like, people are like, "Are you bored?" I'm like, "No, I just yawn a lot." It's like my body just does that. It's like I have no control over it. I feel bad because people will be like, "Oh, are you not enjoying the stream?" I'm like, totally enjoying the stream. It's a highlight of my day. Look at all the animals vibing up here. This is almost like that iconic picture with the animals. Too much mental power. Thanks, Angelo. Flattery will get you everywhere, my friend. It's neat seeing y'all have, you know, kind of mastered the different openings now because we're not reliant on the auto cutouts if you disable collisions on the staircase, so you can have a round or like a 3/4 cutout. Pretty nice. The new dogs playing poker? Yeah, it is the dogs playing poker, just a bunch of druids playing poker. Or druids playing dice. Need a screenshot of this. Oh my goodness. I like these little pocket windows up here too. Needs like a little pillow right there. Like a blanket. But yeah, we got like a lovely setting here. It's a beautiful little map. They did a great job. Captain Pepsi TM. Great use of a waterfall over here. nice use of effects and just a neat general use of fey plants inside the grasslands biome. Alrighty, on to the next map. This one was quite interesting. Highland Lass. Oh my goodness. I was so like confused how this map was made, and then I kind of started breaking it backwards, you know, reverse engineering it. And oh my goodness, it was very impressive. So when you come into this map, it is all wrapped in this like rock structure, okay? So on the surface level, you don't see a whole lot. But watch this. Come down in here, there's like a whole village tucked away inside. Like, you gotta admit, this is beautiful. This is well designed. Yeah, it kind of reminded me of shoot, there's like the new Moria game, Return to Moria. In Return to Moria, you'll find these random like abandoned dwarven villages that still have like some of the structure, and there'll be plant life kind of overgrown and farms and stuff. But yeah, it looks beautiful. You had started your entry on a village in a cliff, but as you could see, it's just like an abandoned village, or some of it might still be used, but some of it is run down and broken, burnt down. I feel like it's long abandoned. Then just kind of overgrown and recently found. Beautiful space, though. Yeah, long abandoned. Right? Just wisteria everywhere. Everywhere. Another little exit area here. I don't know. It's brilliant, though. And it's like, what happened here? That this all just fell apart. It's too crazy. It's beautiful in here. I don't think anyone would want to ever leave unless it like was cursed or attacked or... See, if my party found this, if our group found this, we would want to turn it into our base. Though it's probably cursed. Like, this seems like prime, like, what is that weird... Is it like a Thessal Hydra or something? The rock work particularly, these are hundreds of stones placed meticulously around the structure, so it's still viable, and like it looks like it's just built into the stonework or carved into the stones. For sure. An abandoned site like this that just looks this amazing. So water source running through the center, tons of structures, would be an amazing base. Be an amazing base. So it makes you wonder what happened. Now it's a ghost town. Very cool. Island Lass, very good work on this. If you end up watching later or you're watching right now, it's a very well done. This one like made me gasp when I was looking at it. A wonderful build. Next, the Garden Oasis by Valix. Who was that? I know that's somebody else. That's Crafty Cartographer or something is their name. Kind of new to our community. Remember them. I think it's that. Something Cartographer. Critical Cartographer, that's right. It's some, yeah, I know it's Critical Cartographer because I remember pointing out their username was a good play on words, good alliteration, like, and also it brands well with, you know, tabletop gaming. That is their name. So this map, relatively simple, but also beautiful. A garden oasis, okay? I imagine an oasis that is, you know, the only water source for miles. It'd be a good source or an area to garden around, right? And if you were traveling, ideally you'd want to know where, you know, most oases are if you're traveling through a desert, or they'd probably be your points of interest. Seems like this is like a rest stop. Kind of does have that Greek island vibe with the like old architecture. Feel a little bit like Conan as well. Like the random big like spire in the middle of nowhere. This probably was a watchtower at some point, but now it's just like someone goes up there and plays a lute. Conan always kind of has that like that kind of like a bit of a like an Ottoman feel. You know what I mean? Like really like this one a lot. This person's only been making maps with Dungeon Alchemist for like a week, so I think that's pretty impressive. Really well done. Great use of the assets from the workshop as well. By the way, I'm still open to suggestions for, you know, the damn challenge. We haven't settled yet on a theme. I was just kind of, I was hoping the theme could be stock objects, but if y'all don't agree with that, we can do something else. But it seems like there's a few votes for that, so. This also looks like it's a river, like, access point, so, you know, travelers, you know, below the waterfall, you know, you wouldn't want to go over the waterfall in your boat. You risk ruining it or getting hurt. A lot of times when there was a waterfall coming up, you would exit above and then carry your stuff down and then get back on the river, follow it. So it seems like a good place for like a rest stop, a tea house, something like that. That's what your party would do, huh, Rev? This is when a folding boat is perfect, because you just fold the boat, put it away, and then you go down over with flying or some kind of skill, right? And then you unfold the boat and get back in. We have a character in our group who always just kind of ready fire aim kind of person. They have numerous times been afflicted by our teammates' spells because they just don't know what they do. So they're like, oh, I'm just going to run into this. Like, he got caught by my web. So in the game I'm playing currently, I'm a multi-class. First level was Artificer. And I did that so I could get con and intelligence saves. And then I've been dipped into all wizard since then. So I'm a 5-in-1 wizard artificer. I'm a divination wizard, is my subclass. And I went for like a lucknomancer build, essentially, where I took like a rewarded background, so I have lucky as a feat. And then I have divination, so I have portents. And then as a halfling, I get halfling luck. So if I roll a 1, I get to re-roll it. So yeah, it's kind of a neat little build. And because I am an artificer, I have access to a prepared spell list that's pretty versatile. And I took guidance as one of my cantrips there. And then I have, the ability to use shields, weapons, armor, up to medium armor. And then having con and intelligence saves with a wizard is good. Anyway, I rolled really good stats. This is why I chose this build. Like, I had really high stats to begin with. I was able to hit, like, by L4 max int. So I'm like maxed out on intelligence. I'm at 20 int is what I'm saying. And then I've got really high concentration or constitution. So I'm focusing on constitution, dexterity, etc., pushing those up. I took the hospitality halfling for sure. That was the halfling I took. And then it's got some interesting spells for free that you get, like Purify Food and Drink and Unseen Servant once a day. Plus I get bonuses on like charisma checks, like a D4 bonus. So I'm a really good backup charisma if I need to. Lodge Hotel is an interesting one, Canary. Hospitality, yeah, that could work as well. That's a good broad thing. It's funny, I was just talking about hospitality. Let's move on to the next map. This one's by Chim. Chimney, Chim. Hey, Lauren Zader, how you doing? Welcome back. How's your week been, my friend? Plains? That could be interesting. That waterfall was an asset from the Steam Workshop, Lauren Zader, and yes, it was in this map here. It's just an asset from under the Steam Workshop tab. If you search waterfall, you could find several different ones. Yeah, it's not a stock asset. So if you go to browse assets, type waterfall. I believe these ones were by pretty much all the waterfalls except for the lava waterfall was made by Asmodeus, one of our moderators. They're all animated. Some are much smaller. These like more misty waterfalls are much smaller in size than the water-based ones. You have a lava fall in the cave? Nice. We'll check it out. So we have here Garden of Eternal Fire. And it looks like it's kind of spinning around where the lava has moved a little bit underneath. This could even be an island that was created by the lava itself long ago. Let's go up all the way so we can see the top level here. Get a little view of the outside. So you can mix the plants from the Fey biome in with the desert biome. But unfortunately, the terrain paints currently are limited to their own biomes because the terrain paint tooling we have in DA gets very buggy and exponentially slower the more terrain paints you add. So the average user would really struggle using Dungeon Alchemist. There's a big lag, Lauren Zader. I wasn't aware of it. I'm sorry. An urban biome would be interesting. How do you propose that would work? Like, I guess the terrain paints would be mostly like road type things. Is anyone else getting lag on our TikTok stream? Or any of our other streams for that matter? I love the little like hand-laid staircase pathway. Oh, there's your sign. The Garden of Eternal Fire. Cool. Is there a lag though? Like, am I like doing something different on screen, Artful Darkness, than what's happening? Like, is my mouth lined up with what I'm doing right now? Is my hand matching what I am doing right this moment? Chim always really goes hard with the art styling and design. Ooh, I didn't notice the painting earlier. Cool. I love it. That's of the phoenix that's up here flying around. I love when a map has a painting of what's going on in the map, like someone actively painted in the map. And here we have Ariel. Lauren Zader, I don't know. It might just be you locally. Try refreshing, my friend. Try refreshing. Lovely design exterior. Oh, I never said I was a good singer. Never claimed to be a good singer. Not once. Okay, let's drop us a token in here. Oh, I know. Me too. Trust me, I couldn't get through the stream if I wasn't being silly. It matches? Cool. Weird. Hey, oh, I'm in water, but I can't swim. Nice ruins. From this view, it's really cool. Like the upward view. Gives some like Sea of Thieves vibes too. I'm assuming you intended this to be flooded. It's like right here, it's water. Yeah, it does give a bit of Geronimo vibes to it here, huh? That ladder's useless. Is this the... Oh, I gotcha. Yep, gotcha. Thank you for sending a bug report. Yeah, the more bug reports we get, the better. By the way, y'all, if you don't know how to send a bug report within Dungeon Alchemist, if you're experiencing something that you would consider a bug, you just click on the feedback menu here in Dungeon Alchemist while you're in the map that you're experiencing the issue, and you click report bug. You can just put like, oh, quick name of the problem, what exactly is happening, what were the steps you were taking to make it occur, and then give us some contact info so we can reach out to you if we need more information. But when you send off a bug report from within Dungeon Alchemist in the map you're experiencing an issue, it sends a copy of the map and your computer log so we can look at what's going on and see if it's something local or if it's us, something on our end, and try and help you fix it. Honestly, I think it looks really good. The map is a great design. I can't believe I missed your sign earlier. I was wondering where it was. I kind of assumed it would be like in this side somewhere. How long did you work on this map for, Tim? I like the little spheres here. The lava balls. Lava ball. Hey, what's in here? Nice. So you built this and then just stack this on top of it? Very cool, Jim. Fantastic work. Thank you again for your wonderful submission. On to the next map. We've got 30 minutes and pretty much, what, 1, 2, 3, 4 maps? Okay, so I can maybe slow down a little bit, and that means we'll likely be able to go back to Blue Mage's map at the end. I want to make sure I got everyone's. Kind of hard sometimes. I usually do a little math before and go, okay, this much time per map after I showcase the main one for this much time. So I made a mistake. My bad. Lovely. Lovely. Garden of the Gorgon, as we know. The Gorgon can turn you into stone, correct? So, we got this lovely garden with all of the stone statues of people who came in and met their fate. What was this person aiming at here is what I want to know. I guess the hall there. So what does a Gorgon eat? Gorgonzola. Oh my goodness. You win the Dad Joke of the Year award. Stone fruit, that's a good one. That's a good one. Canary, hilarious. Like it. Kind of weird how all the other places are like just gross, kind of decrepit, and bones scattered everywhere, dirt and mud. Like even their quarters, it looks like it's kind of muddy. But then you go out in their garden, it's beautiful. Is it? So what was your original idea going to be, Rev? This is a brilliant encounter map, though. Like this would probably be a really good map for your community. Honestly, I often will have an idea that I have in my head, and then when I try to execute it, I have to make changes, rapid executive decisions, because you know, things don't always work out as planned beforehand. Hey Shlomo, welcome back. How you doing, my friend? How was your week leading into your weekend going? You often sketch it out? You know, like a lot of times I'll have an idea, right? And I'll put it into, like, I have an idea in my head, right? In my brain. And then I'll try and put that to paper, either as a sketch or notes, you know, measurements, things like that. And I'll grab a tools, like, you know, I have like I have my my calipers sitting right next to my desk, because I often will do measurements for like 3D printing and design. And then I'll, you know, go through, write down all the measurements on paper, draw out, make sure everything looks good, then put it into like a digital space, either as a digital design, or I'll go make a prototype in my shop out of like wood. So I really enjoy, you know, the tactile sensation of like note taking and drawing something like on physical paper, or reading a physical book. Like I understand the benefit of like e-readers and having a ton of books in like one thing. It's great. I also just prefer physical media. Fairy tale is an interesting theme. Okay, so we got 30 minutes left and we've had a bunch of theme suggestions. So I want to make sure we've covered all of, hey, Atlam, can you run back all the suggestions that have been done today? Have you been keeping a list by chance? Statue of Artemis, huh? And even in all the statues on the workshop, you couldn't find one you were happy with? Honestly, though, it's a good map regardless. I like this. It's really simple, but also a great encounter map. Gives your players, you know, several sessions of stress. Like many people have come here trying to take out the Gorgon for their eye, I'm assuming. Everyone wants the Gorgon's eye. Everyone wants to know where the Gorgon is, but not how the Gorgon's doing. Dude, I think this is great. It's a beautiful map. How long did it take you to make? Also love the wisteria for sure. Let's drop a token in here. Walk around a little bit, check her out. 5 hours isn't bad at all. Was I able to tell you my other ideas for where you should start like trying to advertise your map making stuffs? I don't know if I was able to tell you them or not. That's directed at you, Rev, by the way. Honestly, that'd be pretty cool if you could. So Rev wants to start, you know, like doing map making more into kind of like a side project and into a business, you know. And he was going to advertise at his local gym, which I found was an interesting idea. I was trying to think of other suggestions for him of where to, like, you know, maybe ask if you could set up and make maps. So one is obviously game shops, like where they do, you know, card, you know, Magic the Gathering and tabletop gaming. It's a pretty like low hanging fruit one. Another one would be the rec center, like a recreational center in your area. They may even allow you to teach courses there, so you could teach like a map making course or like a DM course. The library was the other one I was going to suggest. Yeah, I that's like with the gym, it's kind of like you could definitely run into D&D nerds there who are just working out, having fun, but it may not be something on their mind there. And the crossover may be a little bit less than, say, at a library or a game shop or even a recreational center. A coffee shop is another good one. Even just being in the coffee shop making maps, have a sign on like a laptop saying, hey, learn how to make maps or something. Very cool map, Rev. Well done. Anani, you can make anything if you put your mind to it. So before we had Rails and Dungeon Alchemist, I made a whole like minecart rail system through. Before we had the cave biome and the rails, I made both caves and a whole like minecart rail. It was quite an experience. Let's just say that. We got a subterranean space, so let's check that out here. There were approximately 2 mushroom gardens in today's entries. I missed that there was a basement on this map, so my bad. Get to the top of it, see what we got here. Whoa, that shape is interesting. So this is like a pocket dimension. You've been doing these a lot lately, Lilandra, right? This is yours, correct? If we have time, we'll look at my map before the end of stream. But if you want to look at it yourself, if you go to the workshop and you type Dwarven Prospector's Mine, you'll find this one labeled 40 by 40. That's the original version of the map, and then the remastered one was when we released the update with caves and stuff like that. So this background here is an object from the workshop, Shlomo, and it is a skybox. If you go to the workshop tab here and you go to browse assets, right, and type skybox, 1 word or 2 words will usually find them. There's a bunch that have been shared by our community members. Bearsoft, Michelle, Asmodeus or Dallas RT, and Sack have shared some skyboxes as well. So there's the panorama ones and then full domes. The full dome ones are interesting. At first, they were just a dome that encapsulates everything, but then our friend Asmodeus figured out you can make them a one-way kind of skybox, like a one-way mirror, where you can see inside from outside of it, kind of like almost like a 4th dimensional observer. And then you could go inside with a token and walk around, but can't see out past the skybox. So you see a night sky or clouds or whatever inside, but you can't see out beyond it. Just to give you an example, let's place a token here. So when you're inside, you don't see the outside of the skybox, which is great. You won't see the edges of the map anymore. Unless, of course, there's a little bit of it exposed down at the bottom. Hey, Orange Space Monkey, thank you for being here. I appreciate you. You're welcome back anytime, my friend. Whoa, Ooh, yeah, it is the greenhouse style building. Whoa. Yeah, you use those kind of see-through floors. That's really cool. Elevator down. Oh, I didn't shrink my token enough. Hold on. Because the spiral stairs, if the default tokens sometimes are a little bit too large, depending on the token you use. Excuse me. Ah! So whenever I place a token, I shrink the token by about 20-30% before I start exploring in first person now. Because here's the thing, the tokens were created before multi-level, and the tokens kind of have their own default size, so we'd have to go through and shrink their default size by a small percentage to make them functional. I think with time we'll probably do that, but right now it wasn't something on our minds when we were focusing on multi-level. So for some reason, when I was exploring your garden before, Lilandra, I never got down to this bottom level. I don't know why, but I absolutely love this. This is stunning. Self-promo for DA? What do you mean? This is very cool. Yeah, I like how it's behind the glass. It's like indicative of the danger. But I also like how everything's like a suspended glass room. Gotcha. Yeah, so the self-promo section in our Discord is designed for anyone in our community who creates content that is Dungeon Alchemist related and wants to promote it. So if it's a stream with Dungeon Alchemist maps, you know, a campaign stream with Dungeon Alchemist maps, or if it's a Patreon creator selling, you know, maps, or if you're creating modules, or if, you know, you're a DM running a campaign and, you know, you put up the videos on YouTube, if Dungeon Alchemist is in the content anywhere, you can promote it in that self-promo channel. This is my favorite room. The Fey Tree room. The Fey Flower room. Mushrooms are cool, don't get me wrong. I just like that other room more. I think you did a good job on this map, Lilandra. Really good work. How long did you work on this? You can also see in these other little areas here. I love how each level kind of has its own little observation deck. 10 hours? Not bad. Impressive. Yeah, it does kind of feel like an aquarium, but it's more like, I would say, just like a very, probably like dangerous species of plants in like in a green, you know, in a greenhouse. Don't they have a specific name for a greenhouse with dangerous plants? You can't look straight down with a token. That's the problem. Did I peel away a level to look down first? Like this? Or should I be on a specific level when I do it? Very cool. It's a very beautiful map. Well, Andrew, you did a great job. Fantastic work. Unfortunately, we got to move on. Okay, next. Let's make sure we represent every map before we wrap up today. Oh, it does look like a house a little bit, doesn't it? I get what you're saying. Like this? I get it now. Oh my goodness. Ugh. So let's try and land on a theme here. Underneath, below, stock objects only, decay, ruin, lodge, hotel, hospitality, planes, as in planes of existence, fairy tale. So out of those, let's just say underneath, stock objects only, ruin, hospitality, planes, and fairy tale. We need people to vote. If you're going to pick one of those and stick with it, because we need to land on a theme before the stream ends so we can set our new Dam Challenge theme so everyone can start brainstorming and designing. For those wondering what the Dam Challenge is, the Dam Challenge is our ongoing map making contest. We host it every 2 weeks. We pick a theme here on the stream and then give you 2 weeks to design your maps and submit your maps to our Discord in the Dam Challenge channel, where at the top there are some rules pinned that you must follow to qualify. This is some serious city wall right here. That is fantastic. No worries, Anani. Honestly, don't get burnt out. You know, it's good to take a break sometimes, especially if you got, you know, RL life stuff happening. Plus, you just won, so might as well just enjoy your victory lap, you know? This one was definitely a heavy contender. It's a very beautiful map. When people say you can't build castles in Dungeon Alchemist, this is a great example of like a keep or a castle or, you know, and in like a walled city. This kind of stuff is totally possible now. I'm assuming that if we go down in and see inside the other layers, there might be other garden aspects. I like this room a lot. Vibe. You don't see the green marble much. You know, because it's fantasy, I often try not to read the descriptions to build like an idea in my head from like that. So I try to like build it based on what I'm seeing and how I interpret it. Who is the second for hospitality? We're starting our vote now, and I only see one person saying it so far. Oh, hospitality from Anani, hospitality from Canary. Got it. Yep, I see it. You know, there isn't a whole lot of hanging garden. There's some hanging garden. Still, the structure, the superstructure, the overall palace is beautiful. Fairy tale from Random Ladybird. Man, this is insanely beautiful. We need some more votes. Let's get some tiebreakers in here. Different chats. We're picking our theme for our next map making contest called the Damn Challenge. It's our ongoing map making contest that we host on our multi streams and in our Discord. We're going to pick a theme and give our community 2 weeks to make a map of any shape or size and submit that map. The map must follow that theme as part of the challenge. Currently, we have a couple votes for Fairy Tale, a couple votes for Hospitality. See, the thing is, I don't want to change the rules if we pick a different theme. I was hoping the theme would be stock objects only, and that would be a very special rule change theme because of that. But if you want to make your, Fairy Tale map using stock objects only, you're welcome to, Lilandra. You're more than welcome to if you wanted to. Remember, the challenge is about challenging yourself too. So if you want to push yourself to new limits and try to make something that would be a little bit difficult, then by all means. Oh, you're laughing at me. Fairy Tale 3, Hospitality 2. At least we got a tiebreaker. We got Artful Darkness watching on the other stream. What do they think? Hey, Cal, how you doing? Welcome back. Thank you for the like, my friend. This map is stunning. Ooh. Ow. Hand hurts. Sadly, I gotta move on though. Even though this map is epic, I want to spend tons of time in it. We just gotta go check out some other maps. Here, let's go over here really quick though before we wrap. We'll kind of slowly peel away the different levels and see what's going on in here. Ooh, the dining hall. Nice view from above there. That is pretty nice. Yeah, we need more votes. Keep voting. Come on. The roof sections, yeah, they're nice. They're like extra, but really, like, they really add to the defined style of the architecture for this. Like, that isn't needed, but it really adds extra light and like shadow into the room. It's cool. Anyway, let's move on to the next map. Looks like this is our last map of the day because there's a Nani's. One's from Sinister XXX. I believe they go by a different name. Yeah, I'd imagine probably 10 to 20 hours for this map. A beautiful example of multi-level though. So here we have the Forgotten Gardens, which has a sub area, like a little basement here. Kind of a filled in staircase. Secret staircase, if you will, that they could get down below. There's some sort of eldritch horror lying in wait. And then above here, we have the Forgotten Gardens. Great use of multi-level. Shlomo, there's a few kind of fleshy objects that we added a few updates ago, and they are pretty gross, and that's one of them for sure. So, did we land on a theme? Is it fairy tale or hospitality? What's the win? Last chance to vote for our next theme for our Dam Challenge, which will be our upcoming map making contest theme. So you use that as inspiration over the next 2 weeks to make your design. So right now it's looks like it's going to be fairy tale. Toastig, thank you for sharing the live. How you doing, bud? Man, I've been kind of racking my brain the last couple of days trying to figure out how your idea would work in like practice, not just theory. Because we lack an API that's where it's like a bridge between, you know, like your concept and our product would make things work like that. Like a lot of programs and companies offer an API when they want you to be able to like link in and automate things, right? I'm good though, by the way. Thank you for asking. Thinking the agent feature from ChatGPT might be a way around that because it can like automate regular tasks on your computer that don't have API support. So I'm wondering if that could be something it could do. Yeah, honestly, no, like that's the thing. Like it's gotten me kind of intrigued. And honestly, I think that might be one way to do it, at least for now, and get like a principled concept going, right? Where you have some sort of automation and you feed it, you know, the data you want and then tell it to create something. Hey, Toasted, can I get your input on something really quick? If you had to pick between these two options for our next theme for the Dam Challenge, which one would you pick? Would you pick fairy tale or hospitality? By the way, I'm asking our Steam viewers as well. Steam, if you have any feedback on this, I'd love to know. Every chat, hype up. Let us know which one you would rather pick for the next theme. Lovely hanging gardens, a great multi-level structure. At first, I was confused by these walkways. Like, how are they so thin? It's because there's a hedge on it. The overgrowth is wonderful. And the hanging shrubs and wisteria. Nice little add-ons. Start making your spouse vote too. Okay, so Toastig over on TikTok said hospitality for their vote, so that ties us up again. I might have to be the tiebreaker today because I haven't cast my vote yet. Initially, the theme I picked was completely different. What is going on? Oh, it's seeing the... What is this? Oh, it's the edge of the map. I thought there was something like in my camera view, this little sliver at the bottom corner of the map right there. It's like, what is in my camera view? It's the map itself. Okay, so So Shlomo voted hospitality, so now we're up one in hospitality. Bad Vibes, this is Dungeon Alchemist. It's a map making tool available on Steam that allows you to build maps in a snap for your tabletop games, primarily in a fantasy setting, so like D&D, Pathfinder, etc. It's also just a fun art tool to build maps and relax. So you could build it for, just enjoy building maps that are fantasy based. So it's kind of like Baldur's Gate meets The Sims in a way. But at the end of the day, it is a map making tool intended for tabletop games. If you have any other questions, please let me know. And if you want to try out our demo, it's available on Steam. It allows you to kind of test out the map making tool. You can build a tavern in a forest with the demo. I really like how worn out and abandoned this is. There's some broken walls. There's some stuff growing through things, like the tree has been growing up through the structure here. You can see it kind of jutting through it in parts. The overgrowth on the various levels. Toastic, thank you for casting a vote, by the way, my friend. Appreciate it. Artful Darkness, are you watching right now? I know you're typically lurking, so I don't know if you're actually watching us right now. But if you are, we'd love to hear your vote too. Very cool map. I love that, just the overgrowth in general. It took a lot of little details adding this in by hand, I'm sure, to get it just right. Weird. I'm not really privy to our sales numbers all that often, so I'm not aware of where we're at sales-wise, but I'd imagine our community satisfaction's at an all-time high right now because of this feature release, that and the changes we made to stairs briefly after the update. What time is it? It's 2 p.m. where I live, 2:02. I'm based in Vegas, Pacific time. Why do you ask, Bad Vibes? Tool time? Is it tool time? Thought I was East Coast. I am West Coast, technically. Hospitality's in the lead right now. Oh, you like the stock items idea? Well, if you want to vote for one of the two standouts, there's hospitality or fairy tale are the standouts right now. I think my favorite level of this garden is this one right here in the center. And you could see through the grate and realize there's a level down below. Fairy Tale. Okay, so we got another vote for Fairy Tale. It is a good map, huh, and NS man? How you doing? Zach the Nebula, that's a good question. Here, let me show you on a new map. I'll generate a 40 by 40 dark parchment. Show you how to make round wall. 2 a.m. there, dang. You're like in Australia or something. So, Dungeon Alchemist allows you to create round and diagonal structures, also random shaped structures. Let me just grab tower here. What you want to do when you want to make a perfectly round structure, Remember, when you're making a perfectly round structure, if that's your intention, the structure must be equally divisible. And what that means is it has to be an equal number of sides on both sides, i.e. 10 by 10, 4 by 4, 16 by 16. You can make anywhere from 2 by 2 up to 20 by 20 and make a round structure in that with those sizes. If you do, say, 5 by 5 or 7 by 8, it won't be perfectly round. It'll end up being, ovoid in shape, or ends up like a lemon head, like Stewie's brain or something, or Stewie's head, or Arnold. You get what I'm saying. You start getting lemon or ovoid shapes if it's an uneven amount of sides. So let's start with like 8 by 8, right? When you generate the floor plan, before you hit this generate, check mark, you can do several things with it. You can grab these little circular dots on the side and pull them inward or pull them outward, and this makes convex or concave bites or cuts into the floor plan. So if you want a perfectly round structure, notice I did 8 by 8. So I'm going to pull this dot in until it's pretty much lined up with the edge of the fourth square. Do that on this side, that side, and that side. Now I have a perfectly round structure that I can generate. At this point, now you can also generate structures on top of structures or below them, depending on your biome. This is a non-environmental biome, so you can only go up in this biome. You can't go down. So you can generate, your tower and just keep going upward and upward if you want. Hey, Jack, how you doing, bud? Hey, Rohan Braumick, yes, it's available on Steam. We offer a free demo or a one-time purchase for a lifetime license with Dungeon Alchemist. It's a map-making tool for your tabletop, campaigns, primarily for like D&D or Pathfinder. That being said, many people in our community also use it just to make art and enjoy making maps or kind of the sim aesthetic. I'm good. I'm actually kind of eager to, get back into Battlefield. I can't wait for the release. So that's cool. Seeing all this new content they're releasing. I explain better than your math teacher. I have a lot of experience explaining Dungeon Alchemist to people, so I'm a pretty good teacher at that. But most other things, I'm not that great. You're adding to your cart right now? Well, thank you. I appreciate it. And remember, you can always try the demo before you buy to make sure it runs on your system. But Dungeon Alchemist is pretty versatile, works on most computers. Typically, though, the size of the map and the intensity of like the details and the multiple levels is determined by your computer specs. The more powerful machine, the bigger, more intricate maps you can make. The black background is the dark parchment background, but that's why I selected this one just for a simple backdrop. So you could do this in any biome, by the way. You could do round buildings anywhere. I would assume if you could run BF6, you'd be able to run this, but the thing is, BF6 also kind of for this version of Battlefield, they decided to not use like all the latest crazy graphic stuff. Like they're not using ray tracing and a few other things, which is allowing computers that, are reasonable computers still to be able to play the game at like really high frames and resolution. Dungeon Alchemist isn't really a video game. It's a real-time 3D render engine. So it renders this environment in real time as you make edits to it, it makes those edits. So you have this 3D environment where you can move objects around, add objects to it, shape the terrain, add buildings, remove buildings, build underground, build above ground. Blomo, what are you referring to? I think we're getting our wires crossed with Battlefield, which has nothing to do with Dungeon Alchemist normally. We're kind of having two conversations in chat. So I want to make sure it's not the same. Hey, see you later, Bad Vibes. You have a good one. Sarah Rain, I'm not familiar with her. Did she make a review about us or something? Cool. I got to see if she made a video. I'll check it out. I'm not familiar with this person, but hey, there's lots of creators out there. Nice. Awesome. Glad to hear more people are talking about us. We're an indie company. We're a small company of less than 10 people on the development team and administration team, like total. So when we get, word of mouth like that from content creators, it means the world to us. When people review us or share us with their communities, it helps us out tremendously. Yeah, you can add stairs if you want, or a ladder, and then it'll automatically cut a hole into the room above. Or, so like here, right? I thought it did. Or you can cut the hole yourself using the floor tool. Or something like that. Just have a ladder going up or a stair if you want. You could do... One thing people will do is put like a spiral stair, right? Something like, sorry. So like a spiral staircase, right? And this goes up to this space here. But technically, if... I'm going to delete that stair. And then we're going to make this a tiny room right here on this third floor. So I'm going to cut it out as a circular hole. Before I generate this, I'm going to uncheck all these things. And we'll just do a floor. Right? Now I can delete this room. Or delete the floor. And now I have a circular cut. So you could run like a circular stair here. If you disable the collisions, then you could sink it down manually. And have like just one single piece of wood go into that. That's the cool thing about these streams, Zach. If you tune in, you'll learn a lot in a short amount of time. Like a lot in a short amount of time. We aim to allow you to learn a lot here because the stream's hosted AMA format, which means ask me anything. So you can ask questions that you're, struggling with something in Dungeon Alchemist, or, you happen to learn something because somebody else asked a question. You didn't even realize it's something you wanted to know. And why is that just a slightly different floor? That's okay. I'll just paint the whole. Isn't that pretty neat how I just kind of made the spiral stair go up to this like nice little spot? You could put some banisters on it if you wanted to. Come in here to, you could go into structural objects, go to freestanding walls, which are right here. And then we have a whole, every wall available in Dungeon Alchemist has an object counterpart that's like a freestanding version that you can place essentially anywhere you want. I like these better. For like banisters and stuff. Try that one. Alternatively, though, if we actually use the wall tool, this would wrap with wall. So we could use the wall tool, find us like a fence or a banister here. And like that. Isn't that kind of neat? Won't add there for some reason. Gonna have to manually add that one. Highland Lass, your map was so beautiful. It was quite spectacular. I was very impressed. Oh, thank you so much for that, Atlam. I appreciate it. Little banister, though. Isn't that fun? Pretty sure there's like wooden ones in here somewhere. Like that. Not a perfect match, but you get the idea. You could find a whole match set. Well, hey, we'll see you later. Thank you for being here. All right, everyone, I actually got to wrap up the stream. We had a lot of fun showcasing all your maps. The theme, I guess we're going to go with is hospitality for our next dam challenge, because that ended up being the winning vote, if I'm not correct, if I'm not mistaken there. And if any of you just jumped in and are new to our community, new to the streams, if you want to learn more about Dungeon Alchemist, please, please, please hop into our Discord, our official Discord, or follow us on social media. That way you can ask us questions either in our Discord, in our question or support forum, or you know when we're streaming because of the events or our social media posts, and you can tune into the streams and get your questions answered. Our next stream is on Monday. It's called Map Maker Monday, and I'll build a map for live for a couple of hours so you can watch me build, but also ask questions about your own builds. We'll stop what we're doing and teach you an AMA format. Hey, Canary, thank you for being here. Glad to have you. Hey, see you later, Jack. Can you make walls without a room? Yeah, you can make walls without a room. You can place walls by themselves with freestanding walls, or you can generate a room with just walls and no floors, for instance. Here, watch. Generate it without floors. We'll do it again, sorry. So it's just like the dirt below, right? This AI settings menu here, when you open this, you can generate rooms with no objects or lighting. You can generate them without windows or doors or floors, or you could just do walls and floors, which is like a blank room. And then you could pick where you want the windows and doors and objects. So you can generate it without all this, you know, extra stuff. Ronan or Rohan, I mean, it's online, it'd be a struggle because there's no multiplayer support. In person, most definitely. A lot of people in our community run their games locally using like a TV tabletop or printed maps from Dungeon Alchemist. And then they'll, you know, run a live version of Dungeon Alchemist. Because you have grid support. Oops, trying to click settings. Because you have grid support, you also have the ability to place tokens and other things in the map. You can effectively play in person. Because when you play in person, you manage all your rules and roles, and you don't need to worry about any online support, right? So if you're in person, definitely. But if you're online, it's a little bit of a struggle bus because of the lack of multiplayer support. In the future, though, our devs have said once we leave early access, we'd like to release our own kind of virtual tabletop that supplements Dungeon Alchemist and pairs really well with it. So you get the best of, you know, your map making. I would assume that means being able to take advantage of, you know, the 3D aspect and the multi-level aspect to the absolute peak, right? Do you play online, Rohan? By the way, if anyone has any last minute questions before we wrap up, now's the time to ask. Please let me know. Honestly, Toastig, we could talk more. It's not like we're hiring or anything, but at least your idea is something we could try and like kick the can around and see if we can come up with an idea. Show the button to delete all objects. Oh yeah, I'll show them in a moment. Unger Max, this is called Dungeon Alchemist. It's a map making tool available on Steam. So Rohan, you would make your map in Dungeon Alchemist and then you would play through like a virtual tabletop online, like Roll20, Fantasy Grounds, Foundry, all of which are compatible with our maps. Yep. This is actually our official channel, Unger Max. So we're just kind of letting people know about the map making tool, how to use it, providing support, showing what it's capable of doing. But for those tuning in on Monday, this is what we've been building. every Monday for the past few months. A little bit at a time. I've been building it by hand and decorating everything by hand. So there's a lot of little details going into it. So right now we're decorating the graves with offerings or remembrance items type things. Hey, appreciate you. Appreciate you, Younger Max. We do offer a free demo, by the way, on Steam if you want to try it out, see what it runs, how it runs on your computer. You can build a tavern in the forest biome with our demo. Currently, that would be something you would have to do if you wanted to do that. You would have to use an abstract, Shlomo. So you could take like an abstract object from our abstract menu, like the flat customizable pane, and put like text on it that could act like a grave, marking, kind of like that. You could put text or symbols or whatever. This is just a simple example in like a second. It wasn't an image ideal for that, but keeping that in mind, our next update will include the decal tool, which allows you to stamp images on objects, and you can import your own images as decals, as PNG images as decals. So you could definitely make grave markers really quickly. Toastig wanted me to show you how you can delete all objects in a room really quickly. So check this out. This room here, I made this ages ago, this little cathedral. I'm going to click on the room tool. I'm going to click on the room itself, right? Well, I'm going to click the edit room tab first, then select this room. If you are in that room and select it, you can click delete room. It'll delete the whole room if you wanted to, right? Probably not something I want to do though. I'm going to undo that. Or you can delete all the objects in a room, right? So just leave it blank. Alternatively, this is really cool too. You can regenerate the room. So let's say you want to keep all the objects and lighting and the walls, but you want to change it to different doors and different, like let's say you want to essentially, you want to change certain things, but keep other things the same, right? So we're going to just have walls and floors checked when we regenerate this and uncheck objects, windows, and doors. That means those won't change. Watch. We regenerate the room. The objects in the room stay the same, but the flooring and the walling and the walls shifted to a different type for that room type. And I can even leave the objects exactly as they are and change it to a different room type altogether, because as long as they're unchecked, it will not delete them when you shift the room type. Does that make sense? So essentially the decor stays the same, but then the whole room's styling changes. By the way, you could change any aspect of a room manually if you want. So like if you want to change the flooring, you can go in and pick a floor and change all the flooring in a room. Or if you want to change the walls or the windows or the doors. But this is a great way to regen everything, but keep, your decor the same. Anyway. Thank you so much, everyone, for tuning in. Again, my name is Mac, the community manager for Dungeon Alchemist. We'll be back on Monday with Mapmaker Monday as we continue work on this massive ancient cemetery, giving it, adding life and detail to it so it feels ancient and old and well used. We'll be back on Monday at 9 a.m. Pacific. That's 12 p.m. Eastern and 4 p.m. UTC. That's a multi-stream available on Twitch, TikTok, Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and Steam simultaneously. We hope to see you there. Appreciate you all tuning in today. We'll see you next time I give a damn. I'm going to run a quick Dungeon Alchemist themed ad and we're going to wrap up the stream, okay? Thank you for tuning in, everyone.
You stand before the long, dark road to the fabled realm of Doyak Ta, and before...
What do we see?
I don't know, a goblin.
I kill him.
But before she does, I, Gilliam of Firth, demand to know the goblin's name.
Hi, my name is Woblin.
Where do you live there, Woblin?
I don't think that's relevant.
Well, but I, Gilliam of Firth, demand to seek the goblin's abode.
Clever, find family, kill entire bloodline. I like it.
Seriously, we're doing this? Okay, well, won't be needing that anymore, will I?
Ever get caught by your players with your pants down? Dungeon Alchemist lets you create wonderful maps for any encounter in seconds.
Oh, Woblin, that's a very impressive cheese collection you've got there.
Yeah, it is quite impressive, yes. But you know what's more impressive? This map I have
To the fabled realm of Goyak Ta. Please take it and leave. Close the door behind you.
Mr. Woblin, I cannot help but notice that you have a secret tunnel underneath your cabinet. Care to explain?
Download Dungeon Alchemist, the AI-powered map maker, on Steam today.
You stand before the long dark road.
All right, everyone, thank you for tuning in. You know, it is time for a new ad. It might be time for a new ad now that we've got multi-level, right? I'll talk to the devs about it. Maybe we can talk to the One For All crew and get them to commission a new ad for us. Be pretty fun. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in. Very much appreciate the community support. We'll be back on Monday at 9 a.m. Pacific, 12 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. UTC with Mapmaker Monday. Until then, we'll see you next time. I give a damn. Mac out. Bye.